from Fox 39 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 9 starts now.
As flu season rushes in on top of the COVID-19 pandemic, health experts explain why you might want to get your flu shot this year. Plus, running for a reason. One local group is asking residents to participate in their virtual 5K run or walk. We'll tell you where the money that is raised will go. And if you're looking for some fall activities like picking pumpkins while still staying safe, a local park may have everything you need. Coming up, we'll explain what's there. Good evening, I'm Alexis Carpello. Thanks for joining us tonight. 3 people are taken to the hospital after a crash this morning. It happened at the intersection of Auburn Street and Ridge Avenue. Police say 2 vehicles crashed into each other just after midnight. No word on the condition of the 3 people taken to the hospital. Police are still investigating what caused the crash. Over 2,000 additional people are infected with COVID-19 in Illinois. That brings the state total over 316,000 cases. 32 additional people have died from the virus, including 2 deaths in Winnebago County, 1 female in her 70s and a male in his 90s. The state's total death toll is over 8,900. The statewide positivity rate reaches 4%. Region 1 sits at 8.9% positivity rate. As of last night, more than 1,800 people are in the hospital fighting the virus. 406 patients were in the ICU and 166 of those were on ventilators. Health experts are urging everyone to get the flu shot this year. The Winnebago County Health Department is even offering them for free a few times this month. And you don't even have to get out of your car. Our Dylan Saraki shares how.
Try and get the flu shot. It is so important. If any year you're going to try it, please think about this being the year to try it. It's just so important.
Local doctors say getting the flu shot is as critical as ever as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to rage on.
This year, we're really encouraging the population to get their seasonal influenza vaccine early in the season because seasonal influenza is going to coexist with COVID, as I've said before. And so we really need everyone to protect themselves with the vaccine that we do have against seasonal influenza.
Swedish-American family physician Eric Troutman says getting vaccinated not only lessens your chances of contracting the flu, but could also free up space for COVID-positive patients who may need to be hospitalized.
If we can eliminate or reduce the number of people getting flu, fewer people will be in the hospital. That will free up beds for patients who have COVID.
Saturday, the Winnebago County Health Department hosted a drive-through flu vaccine clinic at the Winnebago County Fairgrounds in Pecatonica. Health Department Director Dr. Sandra Martell says the department had to be creative to make sure everyone stays safe.
We can't bring people into large groups together during COVID-19 because we want to make sure that we don't transmit the disease, but it's important that people do get their vaccinations. And so a drive-through in your own car with your household is a safe way to receive the vaccination.
More than 200 people received their flu shot free of charge.
We have found that it really does work well for families. You can have whole generations in the car. You don't have to worry about going to 4 different providers. We can do children, we can do grandparents, we can do parents. And the idea being making this a family activity.
The Winnebago County Health Department will host 2 more drive-through flu clinics on October 17th and October 24th. You can find all the details on mystateline.com. In Rockford, for your home team, I'm Dylan Saraki.
1 in 8 women in the United States will develop breast cancer in their life. This month for breast cancer awareness, health experts say the key to early diagnosis is screening early and annually. Some doctors say women have been putting off their screenings due to COVID-19, while some women don't feel the need if they don't have family history. But doctors recommend that when women reach 40, they should talk with their doctors about the importance of scheduling a mammogram.
Breast cancers are found more commonly, sporadically, and what that means is that many women who are diagnosed with breast cancer have no family history of breast cancer.
The CDC says other risk factors include age, dense breasts, genetic mutations, and weight. Grab your running shoes and hit the pavement. That's what Next Rockford is asking as they host a virtual 5K fun run or walk, both benefiting the Family Peace Center. Money raised will go to help continue provide services to victims of domestic violence, child abuse, and sexual assault. They asked those participating to run or walk the 5K before October 18th. For more information on how to sign up, find this article on mystateline.com. Now, the weather was in residents' favor while heading out to Fall on the Farm at Lockwood Park. Every Saturday, guests are welcome to pick a pumpkin, ride a horse, or even pet some farm animals. Organizers say the park, made up of 146 acres, has enough room to keep everyone socially distanced while enjoying the events.
I think it's that we have with the animals. You know, some kids from the community come in and still each year I hear people saying that they've never seen or touched a farm animal before. They've never gotten up close to a cow, and we have a really cool calf right now that's being trained to be an ox, to actually pull carts and things like that.
Fall on the Farm is every Saturday in October from 10 to 4. More than 500,000 people along the Gulf Coast, including Louisiana, are without power tonight following landfall of Delta. The storm brought heavy rains, damaging winds, and flooding to the area and is now moving further inland. Elwin Lopez has the latest from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Delta pushing heavy rain inland after roaring ashore late Friday, slamming into southwest Louisiana as a Category 2 storm. 100-mile-per-hour winds knocking out power for hundreds of thousands across 3 states, and up to 17 inches of driving rain pummeling storm-weary Louisiana. In Lafayette,
I didn't think it was gonna, eventually fall on us, but I just had that feeling.
strong wind gusts ripping out trees like this one, the soil already saturated from previous storms.
That's the living room.
This is the living room. Dwayne and Priscilla Ambrose were at home when a tree crashed into their den, now gone with nothing left but photos of their children.
This can be replaceable, but we are not.
This could have been so much worse.
Yes. Yes, it could have been a tragedy.
50 miles west in Lake Arthur, blue tarps barely clinging onto damaged homes. The Pelican State once again in recovery mode.
Tens of thousands of Louisianans, as we speak, are in a very difficult situation, and we're going to do everything we can.
President Trump returned to campaign mode, holding an event on the White House lawn. It's his first since being hospitalized for COVID just weeks ago. Fox News correspondent Mark Meredith has the latest.
I'm feeling great. I don't know about you. How's everyone feeling?
President Trump had plenty to say to his supporters gathered on the White House lawn.
We're starting very, very big with our rallies and with our everything, because we cannot allow our country to become a socialist nation. We cannot let that happen.
Saturday's speech marking the first time the president held an event since returning from Walter Reed Medical Center Monday. The White House says the president's health continues to improve, but officials have not yet said if the president has tested negative for coronavirus.
Our nation's going to defeat this terrible China virus, as we call it. And the vaccine is coming out very, very quickly in record time. As you know, it's coming out very, very soon.
The president kept his distance from the crowd by speaking from a White House balcony. The crowd itself did not social distance, but most people were spotted wearing masks. Democrats criticized the president's decision to once again hold mass gatherings. They argue it sends the wrong message about the dangers of the virus.
This election is about holding Donald Trump accountable, but it is about more. It is about electing a president who sees that government can be a force for good.
Meantime, both Joe Biden and President Trump's campaigns are adjusting schedules for next week. The two candidates were expected to debate in Miami Thursday. The debate has since been canceled after the president refused to give in to organizers' demands to hold the debate virtually.
That was Mark Meredith reporting. The president will be back out on the campaign trail next week. His campaign announcing 3 rallies, all in battleground states, including Florida, Iowa, and Pennsylvania.
Now your first warm weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Doom.
Let's start with a live look over downtown Rockford using Mercy L Skytrack, where conditions are very quiet and cool after another very warm day today in the state line. Most of the area reached the upper 70s, but a few spots actually scraped the 80s again today, including here in Rockford. We reached a high of 80 degrees. Here in Rockford, 81 for a high out in Sterling, but temperatures have really cooled off since then. Right now we're sitting in the middle to upper 50s. 57 is the current temperature in Rockford, 57 in Rochelle, 57 as well for a current temperature out in Freeport. This is much cooler than where we were just this time last night. 15 to even 20 degrees colder than where we were 24 hours ago, particularly in the east and northeast parts of the state line. And that's because we have some pretty strong winds coming out of the east and northeast, pulling a lot of really cold air into the state line at the moment. And the clear conditions rather are also helping to cool conditions down very quickly. Obviously no rain anywhere near the area with hardly any clouds overhead. Now the dry and clear conditions will last for at least through the evening, but some more cloud cover will move in overnight tonight. That's going to lead us to mostly cloudy skies by tomorrow morning. That's pretty much just how we are going to spend our Sunday. Really a slight chance for a little bit of rain Sunday afternoon and evening. Other than that, just mostly cloudy skies overhead. But now looking ahead to Monday morning, that's when a really good chance for rain rolls on through. We have a cold front pushing through. This is going to bring us a good chance for some morning showers, possibly even a few isolated embedded thunderstorms. Now most of this rain should be out of here by the early afternoon hours of Monday, and then the skies are going to clear up pretty nicely as well by the latter part of the afternoon and into Monday evening. Now, ever since making landfall as a Category 2 hurricane last night, Delta has since weakened to a post-tropical cyclone, weakened actually pretty quickly after making landfall last night. Here's a recent satellite image of the storm. You can see it's still making its way up the southeast portion of the U.S., and here's a recent radar scan of the storm. You can see even though the winds have substantially died down to around 30 miles an hour now, still brings some pretty heavy rainfall to parts of the southeast. You can see some 24-hour rainfall totals in areas such as Mississippi and Arkansas. You can see Greenville, Mississippi at over 5 inches just in the past 24 hours. Several areas over 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. Now this storm definitely made its presence known in the record books. For instance, it was the 10th named storm of the 2020 season to make landfall in the continental U.S. That actually beats the prior record set back in 1916 of 9. So 2020 now holds the record for most named storms to actually make landfall in the U.S. It was also the first storm named for a Greek letter to ever make landfall. It's also the strongest storm ever named for a Greek letter to make landfall. Now mind you, there have only been 2 seasons so far where Greek letters have been necessary, this one and back in 2005. Now we still trail 2005 in terms of the most named storms in a hurricane season. In 2005 we saw 27. We've seen our 25th, so we still have 2 to go before we tie 2005. However, back in 2005, when they saw their 25th named storm, that was in late November, actually 55 days later than when Delta made landfall last night. So very good chance that we could actually break this record as well. Now tonight, back in the state line, temperatures will drop down into the lower 50s, clouds building on through the overnight hours of tonight, leading to some mostly cloudy skies tomorrow, accompanied by a slight chance for a little bit of rain, and temperatures in the lower 70s. 60s return to the state line by Monday, going to hang with us for a few days before 50s return by Thursday and hang on into the weekend.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with David Greenberg.
Earlier this afternoon, the Chicago Blackhawks made a trade with the Colorado Avalanche. Let's take a look. The team announced they have traded Brandon Saad and defenseman Dennis Gilbert to the Avalanche for a pair of defensemen Nikita Zadorov and Anton Lindholm. Saad recorded 5 points in the Hawks' most recent playoff run, scoring 2 goals and tallying 3 assists. Last night's NBA Game 5 of the finals was an absolute battle all the way down to the final seconds. Both teams trading blows the entire way. Jimmy Butler had himself a Herculean-type performance, finishing with 35 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists in 47 minutes. That was Butler's second 30-plus point triple-double this series. The only other player in NBA history to conquer that milestone? The man across the court from him, LeBron James. The Lakers have the 3-2 series lead. You can catch all that action tomorrow at 6:30 on WTVO. Tomorrow at noon, the Jacksonville Jaguars take on the Houston Texans, who are still looking for their first win of the season. Robinson is currently 4th in the NFL in total yards from scrimmage and will look to climb even higher on that list in a very favorable Week 5 matchup. As you can see, Robinson is in some serious company there with 446 total yards through 4 weeks. Many of you may recognize another name on the list. Packers running back Aaron Jones is second right there, only behind the Saints running back Alvin Kamara. Earlier this morning, the Nick 10 Conference Girls Tournament took place over at Harlem High School. There was a nice socially distanced crowd on hand to watch the final matches of the tournament. In the girls' top doubles between Auburn and Hononegah, the Indians showing off some crafty shot placement here, but in the end, they were no match for Auburn's power-serving abilities and fell to the Knights in 2 sets, 6-4 and 6-0. The match that everyone wanted to see was the #1 girls final between Auburn's Boleyn Nieuwenhoven and Guilford's Casey Alcott. There wasn't much Casey could do here. She was simply overpowered by Boleyn's talent. Watch this crazy moment now. The serve from Boleyn was so hard it snapped the net strap. There was nothing to do except laugh about it and switch courts. Boleyn won this one in 2 sets, 6-0 and 6-0. The Auburn Knights win the Nick 10 with a perfect conference record. It's a shame Boleyn won't be able to return to the state tournament this season.
I don't know, it's just disappointing that I won't get to have that ever again. Because I keep thinking like, oh, I can just do it next year, but I forget I'm a senior. So yeah, I don't know. The closer it gets to like when state would be, I just get more sad just because I miss that feeling so much.
Let's take a look at our first Warrant Interactive Radar, sponsored by Rockford Auto Glass and more. You can find this on mystateline.com. No rain anywhere near the areas. We're seeing some mostly clear skies overhead. That will change overnight. We'll see a little bit more cloud cover move in through the overnight hours as temperatures drop into the lower 50s. Now, this is going to lead to some mostly cloudy skies by tomorrow morning, which are going to stick with us through the entirety of our Sunday. Also going to see just a slight chance for a little bit of rain, but nothing more than just a few very light, very isolated showers. A little bit cooler as well. Temperatures sitting in the lower 70s for a high. Now, temperatures will drop into the 60s as early as Monday when a cold front is going to move on through, bring us a good chance for a few showers. Even a couple of thunderstorms are possible. 60s hanging with us through Tuesday and Wednesday. By Thursday, highs will likely drop into the 50s. 50s then going to stick with us through the end of the weekend into next weekend.
Well, that's our show. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.